let me ask you this. What is special about the fetus being dependent on the mother inside the womb versus dependent on the mother outside the womb? Because the fetus, the newborn, is still dependent on the mom's body. She still has to use her body to care.
Not always. I mean, my stepsister had a baby and she didn't breastfeed. She bottle fed.
Sure, but she's still using. So she has to pick up the baby. She has to use her body. Whether she's using like a bottle, for example, she's still using.
She would
her
be
body
charged with neglect if she did not feed the baby.
Yeah. So
So she has to use her body to feed the baby.
Yeah, in some way, whether it's specifically her breasts.
An adoption center if you don't want the baby.
But the point is that either she has to use her body. She's required by law to use her body to provide for the baby, or she needs to put the baby into the hands of someone responsible who will do that.
Yeah. Either way, someone we would agree on this, right? Like for a newborn, somebody has to be required to use their body to care for that baby. Someone does. Whether it's the mom, by default, it's always the biological mother. She has to be the one to sign the papers, right? To transfer that responsibility to somebody else. But as long as that child is kind of under her protection, she has that requirement under law to care for the child in some way using her body, whether it's bottle feeding, right, using her hand, so in some way she's using her body to care for that kid. So I guess what I'm saying is bodily autonomy, like especially when you become parents, right? You don't have complete bodily autonomy, and no one really does have complete bodily autonomy. And I don't think we want to live in a world where that's the case. Like a man, for example, he cannot do anything he wants with his body. Like a man using his body to rape another woman, that would be a violation of that woman's rights, right? And we would both be staunchly in agreement with that. So absolute complete bodily autonomy doesn't really exist for everyone, and it really shouldn't, because there are some things that we should not be able to do with our bodies. And in the case of the baby, right, that baby, it's not like the baby is an intentional intruder. I think a lot of autonomy arguments, like the evictionist argument, they present the baby as kind of like an intruder, like kind of breaking into your house, like if your house is a womb. So, but really that's not the case. It would kind of be, if we're going with that argument, it's kind of like you have a house. It's snowing, so it's snowing, it's dangerous outside, you find a little baby wandering on your porch, you would not have the authority that baby is completely innocent, right? Had no intention of breaking in. You would not have the right to then cast the baby off into the snow, knowing that by that action that baby would die, right? So in the same way, that baby is an innocent, it's an innocent bystander, even in cases of rape, right? The rapist should be absolutely punished according to the law, but even in that case, that baby is completely innocent. It had no intention